Hi everyone, I'm McDices, and this is Remothered Broken Porcelain. I'm kind of originally was mixed on this game, but now it's kind of grown on me, so I'm really liking it. Enough so to where I want to do a marathon commentary, kind of speedrun for this, so I can possibly submit it to various events and just kind of have a notable speedrun commentated for this game, just so we can have that for reference in case of everything that's going on here. This game has evolved in the past week, and I think we're kind of at a point where it's more going to be set, so at this point, it'll be nice to talk about. Anyway, before I begin, I just want to talk about, we actually do have a patch we're running this on, which is patch 1.03. I'll kind of talk more about what that does and what we're doing with it, but just be aware of that. We're not running on the modern patch, because this will be the best one for speedrunning. They have fixed a lot of the bugs and are still continuing to fix those bugs, but this patch is going to be good for us. Anyway, time will officially begin on the first action, which is going to be the upcoming menu, or the loading screen. I'll be hitting the little button, and it'll be going for time. Ultimately, I still like Tormented Fathers a bit more, but this game has a bit of a different feel. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And now we can kind of see more of how this game works. The intro is mostly just going to be chilling. It's kind of like how Silent Hill 1 or Silent Hill 3 work in their intros, where it's a lot of just, you wait, you're in a dream sequence, and you need to die quickly. We won't be able to die until a cutscene happens that you'll be seeing in a moment. Not this one, we skipped this one. But this is going to be like a mini cutscene. You're meant to kind of listen to all the dialogue, and it'll kind of talk about something like Porcelain. Funny enough, there's actually, like, you go to this room later in the game, and, like, the end of the game is right in there, and, like, you can go through that wall. But for this, in all intents and purposes, you're kind of just chilling. How's it going, Serenia? Hope you're doing cozy today. A good example as well is you can kind of see the game is a bit more action-based. It's also still pretty buggy, even on this patch, because you can do stuff like this. Beautiful game. This game does have a lot of its bugs fixed in this build, but we're going to be able to keep some of the good bugs. As well, it should be mentioned that there have been other fixes in this. For example, cutscenes won't be loading as quickly as they used to, or you can't skip them as much, and the whole reason for that is just to let you watch them. Anyway, I was waiting for the line Porcelain memory and waiting here, because I want this to drop Porcelain. But waiting for the lights to go off and then waiting in that exact spot, I'm going to be able to just sort of have it go in the way I want it to. As well, you can kind of see I'm waiting next to him. I'm shooting him to kind of aggro him a little bit here. Because he'll get angry the more you shoot. And ideally, you want to die in like anywhere from like 3 to 4 hits. That actually wasn't too bad. Like I mentioned, you tend to get a 130 to a 135 here. A 134 is not bad. Could have been a little bit better, but overall not too bad. It's just kind of mild RNG on how aggressive he wants to be. And you can kind of tinker that a little bit by like shooting him and shooting wild directions and trying to run into him. But overall, it sort of just ebbs and flows with this game. That being said, though, the run's really going to start getting into its apex, I would say, once we're past the little intro cutscene. There's going to be kind of like an exposition where you have to walk around, kind of get your bearings a little bit in the level. Also story, you know, all that good stuff with the story. But once we're doing that, we'll kind of be in this game. And most of the story is going to kind of explain to you what you're doing here, what your current job is going to be. And you'll kind of already notice that from older runs of this game, we're skipping the cutscenes a bit slower. But overall, that's okay, because we're going to be saving a lot of time later as a result of this, using a newfound glitch, which is going to be a very fun one. Namely due to the fact that it'll break sections of this game that are previously just dead zones. Like, this game had a lot of, oh, you need to do stuff like this, you need to walk and talk, and you need to wait for certain points. On some of those, you're going to be able to go a little bit faster as a result of the new tech, and it's going to be less auto-scrollery, or at least we'll be able to end in a better spot. We can technically break this cutscene where I could run faster, but the problem is, this isn't based on me, it's based on her, and slightly me. It's only based on me to the extent I need to be in a certain hallway, which we get there at the same time as her. Her dialogue needs to finish before we do anything here, so this kind of just gives you a moment to take in the beauty of the game, which this game is really beautiful. That was going to do Hope you're doing good. Also, this kind of gives you exposition of the game, kind of from the last game, and if you're paying attention to the story, it kind of all just goes together. As you can see, there's a lot of exposition in the beginning of the game. Our stream has been good. Doing marathon commentary for this game. Alright.
Hi, Jen.
After this cutscene, we'll be able to start skipping cutscenes again.
With room 213.
This kind of just lets you know how the game is starting, and then we'll be good to go. And luckily for us, this game, unlike Tormented Fathers, allows us to be very aggressive in comparison to the same game. Tormented Fathers, the first Remothered, was kind of more of the stealthy Remothered, and even though there's a lot of fast speedrun tech, ultimately you still had to make sure you weren't on Felton's radar. This game, we're going to be getting right in Andrea's face, who's going to be the first major boss enemy of this game. As you can see, we have a little tray here. There'll be a jump scare in a moment, with a little bird and a hand grabbing the bird. And then also Andrea is now pissed off at us. So the way this is going to work is we're just going to hide in this closet. It's very easy, one of the best spots to be for this. And I want Andrea to open this door. As she opens this door, I'll be able to immediately leave. I just need her to touch the door. And then she unlocks it. And luckily for us, we don't really care about stealth. We just have to get past her. One of the best fixes that happened both for the speedrun and for the game is the fixing of collisions. Back in the original build of this game, God, like trying to run past any enemies, they were like absolutely double wide and it was wild. Anyway, I'm grabbing scissors here because I want a weapon for later, and I'm kind of just, I book it here as all I care about is the next event. I don't really care about getting here stealthily, or sneaky, because why would I need to when Andrea automatically enters the room every time? That's all I gotta do, just make sure she enters the room. Because I'm trying to force certain events to happen. It should be noted that with this patch, they did make it a bit tougher just to run the game. Namely due to the fact that you can't do certain things if you're being chased. And the game has a potential to bug out a little bit more as a result of some of the glitches we're doing. But we should be good for the most part, I think. Anyway, now that she left the room, we're just going to book it here, and then she's going to re-enter the room once I get this telephone key. This will be good for a little bit, and this will be a bit of a tutorial section to deal with her, one of her first hiding sections. Luckily for us, all we have to do is go in the locker, and then we're good to go. For this, I messed up earlier, by the way, during doing other marathon commentary of this game. Ideally, we kind of just want her to walk back to the door. So we're going to see her there. Now, when she walks back, I'll be able to exit the locker, and then I can be able to loot a few things in the room. I want to loot 2 things, because I want throwables for later. Normally, her speed is kind of RNG-based, but she should be approaching there in a moment. There we go. So now you can see the doors opening, she's getting her keys, and I can actually loot this back here. This is a personal thing, you don't need to loot these. I do it because I think it's a bit more convenient getting these, and it's rather safe for later. But you don't need these ones. There's other ones you can get. But now we're going to sneak back to that main room you saw her in, that she opened, her office, and we're actually just going to start booking it down. The carpet and the little her returning is going to be nice for us to reduce noise, and now we're going to crouch through here. It's important to note you don't want to sprint crouch. It is a thing you can do. If you try doing it, though, the birds will get pissed, and they will actually alert her, so you need to do regular crouching. As well, I'm calling number 213, which is going to unlock a room for me later. I like crafting here, just stronger weapon. It doesn't do all that much, but it can help you in a bind. But the whole strat right now, just regular stealth behind her, and then when she opens the door and we're on the carpet, you can actually do the sprinting crouch, which you'll notice is slightly faster.
Who's wasting my time?
For us, we can get really interface, like I mentioned. Once that door's unlocked, I can get right behind her. You'll kind of see me, what I do. The door locks, and then we can just kind of run around her. And then we're going to be in this room. This is always going to be kind of like a planned cutscene room. She can hit you, it happens. But that was actually really good because we're able to kind of just sneak by her and grab the electrical cable. The electrical cable is going to fix all the power in this spot for us and get off the emergency power. And we can do this while being chased. The whole thing, though, is you just want to make sure she doesn't see us. Right now I have 2 throwables, and while I'm down here, I'm actually going to be getting another throwable, which is in this locker. That's going to help me later in a bind, and can help at many points in this game. We're also just going to avoid her on these stairs. It's actually really good RNG, I should mention, by the way, namely due to the fact that sometimes she can be entering from the door right when you're there, which can lose you some time. However, this way is going to be quite nice, and we're going to be hitting the locker here. The answer is always the same, 3, 2, 1, 4. It's a reset combination, normally you'd have to call to find it, but this way is much safer. It's very important that you get to the store immediately, because she can actually bug out the room if she sees you. You don't want her seeing you there, you want to make sure you get away. And how's it going, Asaka? Hope you're doing good. Alright, so now this is a scripted event. We're going to have to just run to the end. It's actually really easy if you know what you're doing. Also, I should mention, don't try vaulting off the end. You will die. The game has that programmed in. If you're wondering why, it's because it's funny. This section's actually really easy. All you have to do is push this, and we'll be going up there. You don't need to gather anything. And then once you're in, you are in. And we're about to be hitting the first boss of this game, who you can take a wild guess who will it be. It will be Andrea, if you're wondering. And every boss fight will kind of signal the end of that psychopath chasing you for a bit, or the stalkers, as we called them in previous Clock Tower games. Anyway, you can actually hear footsteps during this cutscene. You can actually move here, and you'll kind of be able to see a little bit, like how I'm moving. I got a little closer to the locker, or the closet. You can actually enter this closet during that little cutscene if you move exactly right. Which is that just once you kind of skip the little cutscene after the stabbing, it is holding back and then pushing left and right. So you kind of have to feel for the movement, but that should be working. As well, I'll be implementing a new strategy for this section right here. This is going to be just be fast Andrea fight. You may have noticed earlier I grabbed 3 throwables. This is just in case I waste a throwable. I like having the third one. It's nice to have. You only need 2. You actually don't even need a powered up one. Some of these are much safer. So ideally, what I'm going to be looking for is after I exit, we're going to be grabbing those keys, and then we'll be leaving the room. And that will start the boss fight. The way I have my splits dedicated is I split here, so I just have the Andrea fight always consistent, always ready. I like knowing how quick we're moving on her. And the new strat that I'm going to be doing is, in that corner there's a weapon, and in the past it was actually really hard to find an extra weapon. We had to go a little bit further into the next room. So ideally, I'm going to be able to have a weapon for the upcoming fight. That's going to be much easier to get, and if I get that, it's way quicker. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just get my powered up weapon, I'm going to throw it at her, and I'm going to sneak behind her with the scissors and stab. What's going to happen next is she's going to drop some keys, and while she's doing that, I'm going to be grabbing a weapon on here, which is a screwdriver, and as well, I'm also going to be grabbing her keys off her dead body. Ideally, I'm looking to get behind her during this fight, so then I can immediately potentially stab her if I'm lucky enough. I think we got it. Nope, barely missed, that's okay. This is why we have the throwables, by the way. You can just toss. And then sneak. And then she's dead. So it's a really good fight. She's dead. You only need 2 stabs to beat her, and then once you have those 2 stabs, you're good to go. Immediately grab the keys, and we are out of here. And that is the first major section of this game and the first fight. It's a really quick fight, and that fight used to be a lot tougher than the current method. The main reason why is they actually nerfed Andrea from the original build of this game. I think currently the fight's even easier than it is now, which is kind of funny. But it's quite nice. As well, this is that's not a cutscene, that was a minor gameplay section. I had to look at both of those notes and immediately exit out to kind of get through it quickly. But with Andrea, it's way easier. In the past, you actually needed to stab her 4 times, and you'd actually need to upgrade your weapons so you can make sure you can have enough damage for her. These days, though, you just need to find 2 stabbables, and that also works. In addition, you can throw 3 things at her, you can stab her in a panic and throw some stuff at her. It's mostly just doing damage. Anyway, if anyone has any questions about the run in general, you're always welcome to ask down below. I assume, you're on Twitch. If anyone watching a VOD of this, you wouldn't be able to ask those questions, but I can always respond to them too, I guess, on YouTube comments. Also, I love the blinking animation during all this. The stabbing is brutal, Grumpy Gamer. It is very brutal. Also, I'm mashing right trigger during this because, I guess right mouse click, I should say. Because I use right mouse click to cancel things. I don't know why I said, I'm not on controller, I'm on mouse and keyboard. I want to get rid of this notebook or newspaper as quickly as possible. So right now, we're going to be doing a very minor skip, and this is a part of 1.03, and why we want this one. Also, Gandhi with the Twitch Prime for 5 months. Thank you very much, Gandhi.
Ain't SPOOKY month without my favorite SPOOKY streamer.
I agree. Thank you very much, Gandhi. I hope you're having a great day so far, and I hope you're doing well. Enjoy the emotes and the scissors. And thank you. How's your day going? Also, do you see the Halloween emotes? Pretty tight. Why, man? Exactly. Anyway, we're kind of just waiting for Lynn to move to a certain spot. You can try to move a little bit earlier if you really want to break the game. But what I'm going to want to happen is that Lynn here is going to get in a very particular spot, and once she's there, we're going to get stuck. We can't actually proceed to the next part until Lynn's dialogue is done. So this is going to be like a little, oh, they're arguing, oh no, see, I can't currently move, I'm stuck. But by going to settings, controls, and then rebinding shift to run, I'm going to be able to break the cutscene and start running during it. So normally you'd be waiting over there and then fainting, which takes a while because, see, it's all the way over there. When what I need is just right here. The upcoming door is going to be locked and a phone is going to ring, and I need to be there. However, since I broke the game by rebinding my keys, you don't even have to actually rebind anything, you just bind it with the same thing. So I put my run on shift, I just re-put shift on there, it's a fast one. You can rebind anything, there's no like rule that you need to rebind shift. It's just a good way of doing it. And then we get right next to these keys. We need these keys to go get those keys. It's like a little bit of a mission. Also, you can throw things if you want. It's funny. But we have a better waiting position right here. So it makes the auto-scroller slightly faster, since normally you'd be over there. See, there's Lynn. She's just running away. We can see it. Like, you'd be trying to chase her, and then you would pass out on the floor like this. But I'm passing out right where I need to be now, so we're good to go. You can also break this cutscene if you really want to, but there's no point because you can't actually grab those until all the dialogue is done. So just kind of ending it here is going to be better than ending it there. It's still kind of an auto-scroller, but it's much faster than the previous builds. Although in previous builds you can actually, what's the word? You can break the game without this. You just kind of push sprint in the right way, but it's inconsistent. The current build does not allow you to do this because it got immediately patched after a speedrunner asked one of the game devs to not patch it. Like, they said, oh yeah, we're not going to patch it, and then they patched it. I mean, it was funny in hindsight, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Anyway, now we got the keys, we can go to the next area. The whole goal right now is trying to get Ashman's room key, which, you know, we need to make sure we can get the key. And it's going to be in a sleeping room with him. It's going to be this dangerous stealth section. Or is it? We don't actually know. But I'll show you what we have to do there and how it works. And also show you something kind of funny, because I think it'll probably work. So, normally this room you gotta be stealthy, you're gonna unlock the door, and then it forces you into a crouch, as you can see there, but I don't want to be forced into a crouch, I'm just gonna rebind it. And by rebinding it, I can stand up and I can run.
Have to be as quiet as possible.
I've had everybody as quiet as possible, chat. See, as quiet as possible. I definitely did not make any noise there, as quiet as possible. Just slamming through the doors, throwing bottles. He's always going to be asleep. You're not supposed to be able to do that in that room, but I've kind of broken the game by rebinding the keyboard in that room. So by doing so, we can just kind of mess around with it, and it's really funny. Right? You gotta love it. And we're also going to be able to just move through here. I don't need that bottle, by the way, if you're wondering. Like, this next area is going to have a fight in it, but we don't need the bottle for that fight. Mainly because the fight coming up is going to be rather buggy, in a sense. I don't call it buggy. I think it's mechanically supposed to be this way. I'm just not a big fan of the fight, personally. Or either way, in order to make the fight, we have to investigate this note and the phone. And then we'll kind of investigate that portrait. Because this picture frame is going to cause a cutscene where the fight is about to begin. Alright. So the fight can go one of two ways. He sees me, so I kind of stuck down to kind of lure him to get next to me. I'm going to hide behind the door. And then we're going to blow him in the face with some fire extinguisher. He didn't get stunned, so it might be a bit of a problem. By the way, the fight's actually really easy to cheese. You just sort of hide behind the pole. You can still do this even on the modern build, and you need to get him in the face twice with a fire extinguisher. I don't know if this worked, actually. Maybe? No, I don't think it did. Whoa! Okay, that's not fair, homie. Okay, I think we got him? Alright, we got him. So if you're wondering, I got kind of unlucky because sometimes the person just won't hit him. You need 2 fire extinguishers to the face in order to have that fight done. I've actually had a section where I've stabbed him and then fire extinguished him. It doesn't matter on how much damage you do, you need 2 fire extinguishers to the face. And that is it. Okay, so this is going to be a section. Yeah, he clipped through the pillar. See, this game's still a bit of a fun, buggy mess, but they have removed a lot of the problems. So the next section is going to require us to use moth powers, which you get halfway through the game. The reason for this is that your mother in the game took a lot of a certain drug, so you have the ultimate power of moths, because that's what the drug kind of gave, so it kind of went through your body when you were born.
A gift.
What we're going to do is the moment this dialogue ends, we're going to be turning up the switch by using moth power. It's recommended you only push the mouse, the mouse wheel once, however it's binded, because you can accidentally cancel it out, which loses you a lot of time, because they'll have to regenerate. It also should be noted that if you crash into walls, it bounces now, which is a great quality of life for casual play, but a bit of a pain for speedrun. Also, for us, we don't have to actually even worry about this, you can just run. See, we're out. Who needs stealth? You just immediately run through the room. It's done. It's over. This is kind of like the RE2 section, I always feel. Good luck is he immediately leaves the room, but he could potentially check this locker, which is bad luck. I think we might be getting bad luck here. We'll see.
When will it end?
Yeah, he's taking a bit longer than I would like. No, he's going. Okay, we're good. It can happen. It's a bit RNG. Okay. So the good route is just wait a little bit, make sure you can actually go, and then we're just going to be booking it through. This is a very bold strategy for this. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cause a certain event to happen while stealth in order to actually get the upcoming thing. I know I said stealth, but these two don't matter. They can catch me later, but the only one who actually matters to this entire section in stopping us is going to be her in the corner. So what I do is I go about here, I start my moth event, which doing the moth event is going to allow me to get rid of the dog. And then once the moths happen, I immediately crouch stealth over to here. I want to make sure that nobody finds me. If anyone finds me, it ruins it. I only need this to happen, though. Also, since I bugged out the game, the dog is just going to, instead of getting stabbed by Andrea, the dog just kind of dies. There's no way to save this dog, by the way. This will always happen. The only way to be able to save it is if you can glitch outside beforehand, which has not been possible yet. Either way, we're going to say goodbye to stealth and just kind of bolt through here. You can actually run during that if you slam it right, but that was actually really good, and we should be saving a little bit of time on this. And you'll kind of see what the extent of this glitch can really do in the next section here. Like I mentioned, this game can get pretty busted, and I love it. Alright, we're now going to be getting chased by the Red Nun. But instead of actually worrying about this, and like you're supposed to like follow this person and like wait. There we go. What I'm going to do is just run away. She said don't leave her. We're just going to leave. Don't worry about it. I can just activate the events on my own. And I'm going to bug out the game a little bit, in fact, too. Because the game doesn't want me doing this. Normally, you'd be using your moth powers to escort, I think her name is Elise there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them right here. And she'll be moving since I activated the jukebox. You'll kind of see her right here. It does get kind of buggy where if you get too far away from her, it can ruin the game. So I want to make sure my moth power is always kind of near her.
Here we are. This should be a key.
All I'm going to want her to do is, I still need to be able to do all these so she makes it, because she is going to be part of the game. So I'm hitting a few points here. I need her to find the key. I need her to hide in the locker so she doesn't die, or I should say the, the closet. I hate saying lockers because I'm used to Dead by Daylight, but it's alright. And then, once this is all done, I actually don't need to worry too much, because normally she'd try to enter the door, but now, since I already opened the door, and it's still going to be open, as you can see, I don't have to worry about this, and I can immediately just go to the next checkpoint. I want to wait a little bit so she runs properly. What?
Hold on just a little longer.
There we go. And then we have to go over to the Red Nun. So this part, I'm losing a bit of time, but that's okay. I just wanted to play it nice and safe. And you see she just sort of warps over here.
Stop her. I beg you.
Anyway, that was actually pretty good for the most part. It wasn't bad. I saved a little bit of time there. And you can kind of see how you were able to break this game using this. Also, I'm going to break the game yet again. I'm going back to settings. I'm going to just be rebinding this. And normally you wouldn't be allowed to run here, but we can just run straight over here, immediately kind of ruining this cutscene. Normally you'd be playing basketball, it's a sweet moment, and then like you have lovely conversation. But since we broke this cutscene and the previous one, the cutscene just is black and it doesn't fade in. So you just skip it while the basketball goes. You always, I think, win. I don't actually know, since I can't see what's happening. But overall, this is going to be faster because instead of not being able to sprint, we're going to be able to sprint, saving a few seconds.
It's only 2 weeks away.
I just kind of love how the cutscene gets broken because of what we did. The game wasn't expecting us to do this breaking, but by doing this breaking, it's just all black. And you can see we're just kind of skipping little cutscenes in between, because it's still happening in the background, but nothing actually happens here. It's all just an auto-scroller. So making it slightly faster is a good thing. Also, say it with me.
Fail.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Abdul-Jabbar?
Abdul-Jabbar. How was this found? I believe this is found by Hippo, I think. Who is a glitch breaker of many games, and this game's been getting busted a lot, so it's pretty great. Abdul-Jabbar. So this is more of an auto-scroller, but we're probably hitting one of my favorite fights in this game. I really love the boss fights in this game, like, they're really fun. But this is going to be our first boss fight with a guy named Wyman, also known as Porcelain. So Porcelain is the main being of this game that's kind of, broken porcelain. Porcelain is going to be an enforcer, mainly. And right now is the current mind controller of all the people who are going to mind control. So what we're going to have to do is deal with Porcelain and, well, break Porcelain. Also, there's going to be a very sad cutscene coming out. I'm just going to warn you about that. We have to watch at least a little bit of it. I don't have an option to skip it. But I'll show you it because, well, We're kind of forced to. Anyway, we're going to be spawning back down here. You might recognize this. Also, there's the dog. He's now dead. And right now, we're going to be dealing with Porcelain. First things first, I enter the room, and I immediately go back to turn on the light. The reason why I'm going the order I'm going is because it's always going to warp me over to the TV there. So going for the one back here last will be the best, because I save a little bit of movement. Also, that always happens because of the old school TV. Now we're going to be pushing this box, because now a door has revealed itself. By pushing the little dumpster box here, we're going to be able to go through. And I just need to touch this door, and that will allow me to get the next mission to reroute the power. The rerouting power is actually just right here at the switch. You can go through the door again to get it, which is quite nice and fast. And now we'll be kind of gearing up for the first major boss fight of this game. Or I guess the second major boss fight, I should say. Your ear holes? Don't blame me. The game's a bit odd.
Not again.
Also, just the way this is set up is amazing. We're going to be breaking Porcelain right now. So we get the baby, we're getting probably the coolest weapon in the game, which is the nail gun. Also opening this path over here.
How did it end up here?
And now we're going to be interacting with the Porcelain boss fight. So the way this is going to work is... What are you doing? Run. Thank you. We need to actually get light sources. Can you go through the... Thank you. Holy God. You need light sources on Porcelain. Getting those light sources is going to allow us to do damage, and this fight is done once you've gotten 3. I'm actually going to be taunting Porcelain as we go, because I want to make sure that we can properly time these. He can get pretty rude and attack early if we're not careful. Also, I'm going to set down this baby, because he is a bit blind. And then we're going to be going right here. Once we're on this one, we should be good to go, and there's the fight with Porcelain. He's baby. And now we can actually take that shortcut I showed you back over here, which is going to be much faster for returning to the radio. Overall, that was actually a really good fight. Also, here, we can have another baby.
Lynn, can anyone hear me? I'm trapped down here. Can somebody help me?
Overall, pretty good fight with Wyman as a whole. This is really good.
Tell me when.
This is ideally what you'd be looking for with the Wyman fight. Alright, Wyman 1 was very good. We'll be hitting the next... we fight Wyman a few times in this game, by the way, if you're wondering. He has a few boss fights. He's a very significant person for this game.
Explain to me.
Anyway, now we're playing as Lynn, who is the other person in this game. Story-wise, you'll kind of learn more about them as we go. If you have any questions about the weirdness of this, I can always explain it, but it gets explained as you play the game, story-wise. Anyway, the whole thing right now is we're doing kind of the side mission where they talk about going to a concert, so we're going to have to break into Ashman's office and steal his money so he can run away.
It will be 2 years in.
I'll be doing a very minor skip here, and this section is actually one of the quickest in the game, because all you really have to do is find his safe, which, since I already know where it is, I don't have to worry all that much.
How was the Flemington girls and...
It's also a bonding moment with these two, and you can watch that if you want to. It is very strong energy. Also, right now it's going to freeze me, so instead of being frozen, what I'm going to do is just quickly apply that, and now, guess what? We can run. Normally, this is just the difference of time. It wouldn't let me get here as quickly, but now we're here, and I'm going to be able to just skip this a little bit.
You're like a whole new person.
And now I'll be able to push this.
I knew it.
Alright, and now we're in the office, so we have to unlock it. See, very quick as you can see, and a very minor breaking of the cutscene. I like doing this glitch because it's funny, you can just ram it, and it saves you a very minor amount of time than otherwise. And anyway, there's Lynn's section right there. Okay, time for the next Wyman fight. We're going to be going back to the, away from the flashback, and we'll be getting ready for another fight with Wyman here, who, if you're wondering, Wyman's that big guy with the bone sword, also known as the name Porcelain. It's going to be a two-part fight. Part 1 is a cakewalk. Part 2 is also really easy, but it takes a bit to get used to it. Sounds about right, Hypnotic, as well. It does sound about right. So, the way this fight's going to work is right now we need to save Lynn from Elise, who is trying to stop us from leaving. And in order to do that, I need to use the moth powers. So, we need our moth powers to regenerate during this section, but you may notice, hey, there's a lot of lockers here. We're going to have to hide from Wyman, also known as Porcelain. And in doing so, we'll let our moth energy build up. You'll kind of see he drops down from there. Our whole goal is going to be hiding from Porcelain. He's a bit mildly RNG on where he can go. Ideally, I'm going to want to make it right here. Can you move, buddy? What are you doing? There you go. And then by doing the... What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy?
I have to do something. I
Oh god, no.
Elisa.
It doesn't actually matter which way he goes. The general idea is what I'm trying to do by the end of this is I want to hide in a locker just because it's safer. But it isn't required. The reason why I picked this locker out of all the lockers is I want to be near the vent whenever I'm kind of done with this. So being able to kind of hide in here is going to let Wyman hopefully wander to the right side of the map, or the left side, depending on what angle you're looking at it at. But by being in here, I'm going to be able to regenerate that moth power at the top right. Once that's near done, I'm going to get like a little mission saying, hey, you're good to go now, do it. You're supposed to be like trying to do it as you go, so it's oh, I can do it, I can build up energy. Which you can actually get upgrades for this to make it faster. The only reason why we don't is it takes a while to actually use the moth power, like to, you know, get the upgrades. You'd have to get moth keys, which are pretty easy to route in, but you'd have to get enough to where it's worth it, which I don't think it'd be worth it just yet, because doing the upgrade timer is a bit longer than you'd imagine. Either way, this is a great time for either donations, or like I would say during the run during my own PBs, checking Twitter, as like looking at dank memes. By the way, you should follow my Twitter account if you're not already doing so, chat.
Tell me you're okay. I have to try again.
Alright, so we're almost done. Once it, like, nears the tippy top, I'm going to exit the locker and hope he doesn't find me. And then doing that, I'll be able to kind of go. This is mild RNG, but it's pretty easy to lose him. I don't know where he went, but we should be fine. I like doing it right here, just because this kind of lets me get the fullest out of it. Alright, hold on. Oh, hold on. Yeah, let me get the locker. It's really awkward moving through this locker, by the way, or this vent. But there's phase 1, and hopefully he's not from this door. Alright, we're good. He can kind of get you stuck sometimes. Anyway, Wyman 1, very good. You can shoot her a couple times. It's just sort of funny. She'll complain. She doesn't die, she just complains. Anyway, you need to pop the light, and then you just start pumping him full of nails. Normally has moths around. Each phase is going to require you to remove the moths. The phase will be done once he jumps to the fence like that. Also, very funny, and it doesn't lose me any time to actually do this. But let's see if I can show you. You can see just waiting in there, and we can actually do this too, where you can kind of even go in the vent and see he's just sort of, you know, alright, gotta wait. But he'll always kind of be on whatever side he goes on, so I'm expecting him to probably be, yep, this one. So once I wait, I see he's walking towards me, we shoot the top, and then shoot him 2 more. And then you just keep popping him full of nails, and then you don't have to fight after 2 sections. Once he runs away, I'm going to be waiting in that car. Okay, we're good. And then you just can go on either way of the back seats. It doesn't actually matter on how long Lynn takes. This is based on Wyman's health. This doesn't matter for Lynn whatsoever. This is all Wyman. So by getting those 2 fights all nice and done, you're good to go. It's very easy and not too hard whatsoever.
Why did you do it?
And now you have lore. I don't know why they let you, but you can actually move around in the back seat if you want to. But like at a certain point, they lock you in the middle anyway. So like, yeah, it's just kind of a waiting section here. But we're actually hitting one of the last ones of the game, I would say. And we're kind of hit one of my favorite speedrunning breaks in the game coming up. So, either way, I hope you've all been enjoying Remothered so far. I like this game's run. We've chopped down a lot of the dead time. And it's still very fun. Also, like, 47 minutes of this right now. I think world record's 46-14. Like, that's really good for a world record for this game. Like, I remember the community was saying, we're not even going to get under 55 until, like, a couple of months. And then within a week, we're already under, like, we're almost under 45. So, I'm very proud of the way this community has been working so far. And I think this is a good example of marathon commentary for this currently. Just because we are kind of on more of a set route. Well, routes obviously can change as we go, and we do have some hints of what we can be doing. Like, if ever, like, this game changed massively, I'd probably just update marathon commentary for this. But currently, the only things we're really looking at are potential out-of-bounds we can do, which we know they exist, it's just a matter of where can we apply these. Which, a lot of the times, tricks like that in different speed games might actually be doing that. Like, you might be wondering, oh, I found this glitch, and it's not bad to find glitches, it's always really good. And just sometimes they might not get applied to runs immediately because you need to find a place for that to apply to. So, for example, you know several out-of-bounds spots, but they don't currently do anything that would progress the game. However, though, like we mentioned, you never know what can actually come in handy. Finding even the silliest glitch can really break a game, and it's hilarious. Anyway, we're now going to be playing as Rosemary Reed from the first game, if you played that one. We're locked to a wheelchair, and we're going to be having to break out of it. First things first, you have to look at all 3 of the things down here, and then you kind of just mash out of it. In doing so, we're then going to be going to that little controller right there, which is going to be a wheelchair handle, or a wheelchair controller, because this is a remote wheelchair. Just kind of make sure you're looking at it and clicking in that general direction until you get the panic event, or the quick time event, I should say. They call them games in this, little games.
Come on, Reed. You can do
And once you
it.
have it, I hold W so I can start moving forward right when you get it, and we're going to be ramming the door. The door requires 3 rams, and I'm going to be very specific on how it's happening. So I'm going to start going back, and I'm immediately going to go forward again the moment I kind of pass that file cabinet, or I'm like roughly on that file cabinet. You want these little cutscenes to show up. If they're showing up, you're doing damage. A lot of people try going like here or something. You need to go far back for the third one. By going back here, I'm going to be able to build enough speed, and then we get the deja vu initial D moment. Deja vu, I just been in this place. And she, I don't know why she drifts, but she does. Either way, now we get to play as Rosemary's, which I actually really like this section. First things first, we need to get a key. It's going to be a voice key, so I'm going to be going up to the stereo right here. I'm going to play it. I'm immediately going to end the recording.
Bingo.
When she says bingo, you've gotten the key. It's actually really fast. It's like one line, like the, and then you're done. And then you can go over to the safe, and then you play the dialogue. Once the safe is open, there's going to be a lot of stuff in it, like hypnotizing, notes, papers. We don't need any of that. We just need the gun. So we're going to take the gun, and we're going to leave. It's assumed you get all of that anyway, so you don't actually need to grab all of it. This is PC, Blitterfish. This is PC. If you have any questions, by the way, feel free to let me know. Anyway, the reason why we need the gun and nothing else is because the gun can actually break this lock. I make sure to shoot from a distance, by the way, because if you try getting close, it's actually harder. You want to shoot from a little bit of a distance, because apparently, like, you can't shoot it close. Anyway, in the past, you'd have to, like, manipulate Wyman to get you through this, but you just kind of need to make sure you shoot him, and then you're good to go. I don't actually know if that's a cutscene or intended or a skip. It's really weird the way this game worked. Like, it always confused me. Like, I thought that was a skip, but I'm actually not even sure anymore. Anyway, we're now hitting the most annoying fight in this game. Round 1's actually amazing, and I love Round 1. Round 2 is the issue. Okay, so Round 1 is one of my favorite fights. It is the Red Nun. You want to run close to her. She'll try to ignite you with fire, and then you shoot with the nail gun. The reason why you need the fire out is because the fire will allow the moths to go away, meaning you can nail her. As you can see here. There we go. You kind of just keep doing this until she's all done. The screen will flash about white and go to a cutscene when you're done. And then we're hitting the worst fight in this game, by far. This actually has a popular meme in the community. It's a certain mean word upstairs, which you're going to be hearing it a lot. But as long as you play right, we'll be fine. Anyway, Round 1 is actually going to require us to avoid Lynn. When she starts complaining, we're good. I need her to complain. So when she starts complaining, we found a spot, and now I need to find... Well, thank you for saying it. She usually goes on rotation, so you want to make sure you can find her. Oh, she may have backtracked too far. Maybe... Got it, okay. So by getting her with the moths, that'll break her hold over Lynn, and then we're going to do the smartest thing by throwing a brick at Lynn. Or a bottle. Ideally, I want to kind of remain out of Lynn's eyesight, and I want to make sure I can just kind of keep going with this. You have to be very certain that you're remaining out of eyesight, or else I'll automatically break like that, as you can see. The differences in time is going to be trying to find a good spot to hide, and making sure you can constantly go that way. How's it going, Ash Moon? Hope you're doing good. So now, I also need to make sure the Red Nun is in a nice spot, which I see her. So we're going to hide right back here. It should also be noted that she will double back around a lot, so be aware of this. So far, this is pretty good, though, not gonna lie. Like, I've had much worse. Another fault of this fight is that, hold on. Oh my god, can you hit her? Thank you. What will happen very often is the Red Nun, if you hit her too early, she can technically lose her positioning. Alright, so they're looking around. Alright, she's good. And if I get the Red Nun, this is perfect. If I don't, I have to do it way again. Okay, we're good. And last round, after 3, this is what happens. 3 bricks, and she is going to be dropping the nail gun. It's always 3. And then we'll be going to round 2 of this fight. Round 2 is going to require us to do that.
Maybe I can use my power.
And then you just kind of keep shooting her. If you're seeing her getting stunned, that's fine. You just kind of keep nailing her. The screen will flash to white, and then once you're done that, the boss fight is done. That's actually a really good boss fight. I'm really happy with the way that turned out, and we're good to go. And you can play it, but we can skip that cutscene. How's it going, huge kid? Hope you're doing well.
Oh, dear God.
I went well, Alice, but I'm not doing it again. I'll say that much.
My head.
And let's take it $5,000. Anyway, that is now done, and we'll be returning to the inn, and we'll be doing a series of breaks. And there's another thing that we might need to do that may require us to go menu cancel. Or I guess cancel the little area with menuing.
Are you okay?
But we're gonna go through this dialogue first. They're kind of getting angry at us.
What's wrong with you
Story-wise, no one remembers Lynn. They're all mad at you because you broke things.
Mess of everything.
But like I mentioned, we're gonna be breaking this game quite a
Who
lot.
the hell are you talking about? Go! Get a rag!
So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna walk up to this door.
Closet, Jen. You do remember where the key is, don't you?
So watch. We're gonna walk up to the door. And then once we're at the door, I am going to go my settings, and we're going to break this once again. I remember rebinding, absolutely will break things, so instead, I can now just book it. Normally, you'd be walking, it's kind of slow, but by doing it this way, I'm immediately going to be able to do a lot more here.
Don't you understand?
As well, it breaks here. I'm going to break it once again. Again, every time this happens, we just break it. So now, I want to make sure I grab the keys. By grabbing the keys, I can immediately head back. I'm very specific on my movements, by the way, because if you're not, you can accidentally bug the game and take more time. And then we enter here, and then we're good to go.
What?
And now, normally wouldn't be able to get here until much later.
Lindsay, Lynn, it wasn't a dream after all. I remember. I have to go back.
Alright.
The only solution. You can stop it.
So now we're going to be going right back down. You'll kind of notice the dialogue also breaking, and the next section is going to be very quick, and we'll be doing a fun skip for that too. This game is full of little short fun skips, as you can see, and they're really nice, and it's mostly based off predicting. As a game, this is way more fun as a speedrun than Tormented Fathers, I think. Like, I like Tormented Fathers a bit more as a game, but as a speedrun, this game is very fun, and I can't help but, you know, enjoy it with all these little things that we get to do. Normally, like, a lot of the games I do aren't, like, super broken, where we have a lot of tech going on. Like, they're very linear quite a lot of the time. This game has a lot of moments and a lot of skips. Like, right now, I'm actually moving over, and I'm going straight to the door, instead of... What are you doing? Good job. Instead of immediately, you know, just going to the cutscene that we need. Luckily, it doesn't matter too much, because I need to wait a moment for this to start up, so I don't lose any time, really. I go talk on the radio, and then I go back here, and I hide behind this, and that actually lets me immediately talk to the ladder there. And then the dialogue will actually continue during this loading screen.
I have to find the film.
There could be a bug that happens here. I've had it happen a few times. So what we're going to do is check on this door if I can interact it. Alright, it's broken, that's fine. If it breaks, it's not the end of the world. You just have to make sure you reset the game. If you can't interact with that door, you have to reset it, because you won't be able to interact with the door you need. It's just kind of a mild thing, but ultimately it still saves time. It's kind of just reloading the level, and it'll reload the autosave I just had. I don't know why that happened specifically, but I have to make sure I reload it whenever I do that. Alright, now we're back. And now, let's check. See, we're good to go. And that fixes the doors not working. I usually check it there, just because it's safer. But we are good to go. And the whole point right now is to get the film so I can break Lynn out of her trance. The film was like a very sweet moment between the girls. So we're going to the cinema room. We get a cutscene. However, normally you have to walk during this. We're not going to do that. You'd have to be stealthy, because stealthy is the name of the game here. However, normally if Andrea here sees you, she will like black you out to the outside of the room. But instead, this will be much faster. I'm just going to run up to these keys. Alright, then we leave.
Now I can have a look. I have to go
See?
into
Very
the
easy.
Much
nicer, too. Alright, and now we open the cinema room, and we're going to be grabbing the film, and once you grab the film, we can just get on out. And I do a little strat here that I think is a little bit safer. This guy is going to be...
I didn't do anything. I beg you. Okay.
What?
I have to hide and try not to...
Alright, that's amazing RNG for us. Normally he enters the room and tries blocking the door, but he dropped aggro immediately. Sometimes this game just bugs out, and that's okay. That's really good for us, because I just left that immediately, as you saw. That's really good RNG and good time save. Normally I'd, like, ring around the Rosie and do some Dead by Daylight stuff, but, yeah, I don't have to worry about that, because he just decided not to enter the room. The beauty that is this game. Anyway, I like taking this route back. Wyman, I have to make sure is going to be nice to me. So I make sure I just throw something at him. back him up a little bit. And then we kind of slam the door. In doing so, I want to make sure that he's getting out of the way. You can go either way, really. There's not too much of a difference. Now we go into this corner and break all the mirrors. And now we're hitting the end of the game. If you make it here, it's really easy. We're hitting the final section of this game, which is going to be kind of like Dead by Daylight. I know I mentioned Dead by Daylight a lot, but that's because a lot of this game is reminiscent of the Killer Survivor thing. Mainly in how the chase works and all that. And a lot of people know Dead by Daylight, so it's fun to reference that. Anyway, what's going to happen right now is we're playing as Wyman, Porcelain. Story-wise, his body became a husk for parasites because we broke him, so now we're going to be able to kind of just follow Gloria here, and ideally you want to keep track of where she's going. She can go in a variety of directions. I think she went this way. Yeah, she did. And this is RNG on the paths she takes, so you can take a variety of different paths, and you want to make sure you follow her. You don't need to attack her, you just need to follow her and get shot in every room. This is just to symbolize that you're trying to kill her. By getting shot, it's going to be faster because she'll be going at her fastest, and as well, you don't have to worry about things like her slowing down by getting beat. It's funny to beat her, but it's not faster, so you gotta make sure you're doing good. And ideally, she'll try going... This is a horrible path. What are you doing, Gloria? Ideally, she'll try taking optimal paths, but she's not doing that. Actually, I can probably beat her right here. I missed, that's fine. She can cry on that wall, and if she does that, you save a decent amount of time, given that she won't actually walk in here. But it's okay. Either way, this is much more consistent, so it's alright. And we can leave, and remember, just keep following her. The reason why I'm mentioning you don't want to be too close to her is because if you get too close, she'll try firing her gun again. Wow, Gloria, you're taking the worst path. This is awful. I hate you. But if you get too close, she'll turn around to shoot you. You won't get stunned by it, but it's annoying.
My eyes. They burn.
There we go. Oh my god, I mashed it too much. It's okay, though, because I know what room she's generally going to, and she won't be able to fully outrun me. So it'll be good to go. She is going to this room, and we've already caught up, so it's all good. See? Nice and easy.
That song. It's inside my head.
I don't know why it lets you not mash out of that as quickly sometimes, but it just does that. Anyway, now that we've followed Gloria to every single room, she's going to be going to her final room, which is always scripted. It is going to be right here, and then we'll get a little cutscene where we knock her down, and then she runs over to Ashman's office. There's a fun little thing you can do here, which I'm not going to get world record, but I might get top 2. I'll do it anyway, it's funny. You can actually do things as Wyman, so normally you'd want to walk down to the end, but this is just kind of funnier, so I'll do it. You can actually vault this, and he does this, and it's funny. I don't know why, but you can vault. Just walking through the doors is faster, though, because he's really slow with his vault speed. Anyway, once you're here, you're pretty much done with the game. All the hard stuff happens earlier, I think, with the, you know, getting to the Ashman film. But here on out, you just kind of mash through these cutscenes. Eventually, you'll be finding a book, and then you just left click on the book, turn 14 pages, and then you win. This kind of summarizes a lot of the story and the events, so... That being said, this has been Remothered, Broken Porcelain. I hope you've liked the game so far. It's a really fun run, I think. I'm liking this game a lot. It's quite a fun speedrun. Time ends on the final page of this book. And I think this might be a new PB, and top 2, in fact. We'll see. I hope it is. There it is. Time. Yeah, this has been Remothered, Broken Porcelain. I think that's top 2. Hey, thank you for the 5 bits. It's much appreciated. Pog indeed. Woo. Thank you, Boone. Yeah, hope you enjoy the Maryland commentary for this game. I'll let the ending play out, mainly because you can't actually even skip it, I don't think. I tried doing it earlier. Also, it's late. I'll enjoy it. However, I will show you a fun glitch you can do if you want to skip certain something. So, just enjoy, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed the commentary. Hope it was nice. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to, you know, do the rate, comment, like, and subscribe and all that jazz. It's always appreciated. But, yeah. It's a fun time. 2 seconds. Hey, top 2.
With it.
This will be Marathon commentary, so either way we'll have this one. It'll be good to have.
She held on to my memories.
It'll be that good stuff.
Her own. And those of the other
I scratched my ear. I got a bite on my leg, I'm not sure how. I don't know where I got bit by like a mosquito, but I hate bug bites, man. They're annoying. Hey, thank you for the follow. It's much appreciated.
Many times.
But yeah, it's very sweet.
Hoping that baby.
So story-wise, Lynn and Jennifer
My
are
memories might
lesbians, and they love each
resurface.
other. Nah. Not today, boo. Not today. I'm not hungry. I only do things when I'm hungry. I'm not gonna eat food just for the sake of it. I want to be hungry for food. Okay, so I bet you're wondering, hey, what's the fun glitch I'm talking about? What is this glitch that you can do? There's one more glitch, and I think it's the best glitch of the game. By the way, I don't think they'll ever actually remove said glitch, by the way. That's a mentality I'm trying to build, Juice Bowl. I want to make sure I build that mentality, make sure it's all good there. Sometimes I'll snack, but usually I've been good maintaining. It's nice. Oh, same. Absolutely same. Absolutely.
She would find me there.
So, the glitch is... the end of the game, normally you can't skip it. Like, watch. I'll try skipping it right now. You can't skip it. I'm pushing... You can hear the clicks. You can't skip the final. You can't skip it at all. But notice, right now, I can't skip with Chris Darrell on the screen. If you Alt-Tab, you can pause the game and return to the main menu, meaning you can skip Chris Darrell getting credit for the ending. Because he keeps it on there because he wants you to actually, like, you know, oh, I did this. But there's a glitch where you can skip it and you don't have to read his name if you don't want to. So... back to main menu, and then there's the final glitch of the game, where you can skip having to read Chris Darrell's name. And you can also get back to the main menu earlier. It works because you're alt-tabbing away from the program, and it'll always pause the game when you do that, so you can snub the creator of the game, and it's funny. And they're not going to remove it either, because if they do, that means you can die if you alt-tab, and you know they won't. The quality of life move is too good, so it is the Chad move. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Marathon Commentary. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of the day or night.